There it is. That should be better. Now we're good. All right.
Now
Well,
they can hear it.
that's unfortunate because I just had a really
Cody.
great intro, and that's not recorded at all.
Yeah, he did.
Run it
It's
back. Okay, so
okay.
all right, welcome everybody. Tonight we are joined by Mary Mendoza, formerly Brummel, one of my best friends' wives, and not wives plural, just wife. That was a weird grammatical
I'm the only one.
grammatical thing. There's not a sister wife thing
You're
going
not
on.
doing it as well
I'm the
now.
only-
I know I'm not. Anyway,
First one was
she's.
so good.
I know it was just like live and ready to go, and they couldn't fucking hear it. Pissed. Anyway, so she's here to join us tonight to talk about music, her experience with music, her experience in the music industry, and you guys are gonna get a little sneak peek of their upcoming full length album, self-titled, or are we releasing that or not?
I can definitely say that it's not self-titled.
Okay.
We have a couple in the mix. I think we're down to 2 finalists, and definitely have the concepts for the album artwork ready to be released very soon as well, which we're excited about.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
let's take this shot.
So we're starting off with a shot since it's that kind of episode. So here we go.
Tequila.
A little tequila.
Yikes.
Cheers.
On multiple bikes.
Love you guys.
Cheers. Wait, I'm just gonna hold it. Hold on.
Cheers,
Clink.
love you guys.
Clink. To feel
Clankers.
good.
Jerseys and
album.
chugsies.
Ooh,
Combo says, let me guess, country music?
absolutely not combo. Shut your mouth.
Definitely not country
No.
music.
Not country. Not
Nothing
country.
against country music, but no, that's not my style.
We're in a country musician.
It's more of a oh shoot, I don't even know. What would you place y'all's genre as? It's not. It's like
It's kind of hard to set it as one thing. It doesn't
Yeah.
really fall into like one category, but we kind of describe it as like ballad style rock, or like ballad style punk for a couple of reasons, not punk for a couple of reasons.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
a
gonna say
female
it's-
vocalist, so it kind of just like naturally has a softer feel. But I would say like
You sound
ballad
just like
style.
Haley Williams. Let me say right now. You sound
look.
like Haley Williams.
Somebody was gonna say it was either gonna be you in a sarcastic tone, or it was gonna be me
Yeah, it was
being
gonna
like
say- it was
dead
gonna say.
serious. All right.
No, that's a
I don't
very,
know.
very big compliment.
Well,
I think so.
That
Yeah.
kind of transitions into my first question, Mary, if we can kind of dive in a little bit. For a long
Let's
time,
do it.
yeah, for a long time, I know that when people would say that you sounded exactly like Haley Williams, it was almost like a, like I'm my own person. Like, don't say I
That's-
sound like
yeah.
Haley Williams. So
That's 100% what it was.
yeah,
was
and these
I'm
days,
my own person.
yeah, these days you see it more as a compliment, which tells me more that you've grown more as a musician to accept, kind of those compliments in the way that it's not like a jab at you. Because we would play Mary's songs like at house parties back when they were Dyson Hollow, which was the band before this band. And people would be like, oh my God, she's so good. She sounds just like Haley Williams. And we'd be like, don't say that.
Don't say that. Shut up.
Don't say that.
Yeah, I used to say a lot of things about artists that I genuinely loved, like 100% out of jealousy, 100% out of feeling like I deserved it. And I definitely did not. It wasn't my time yet at all. And it's still maybe not. I guess we'll see where the universe takes us. But yeah, whenever people compared me to Haley Williams, I would get really frustrated. Just, I think also because of like the red hair thing, and I hated being a redhead at that time. Like, the association, I was like, no, I'm my own person. But she was a huge influence for me. So I think it's kind of natural for my voice to mimic her in some way, because that's when like I was really molding my voice at that age, like in probably like, I don't know, from like 13 to 19. Haley Williams, just Paramore in general, was a huge influence for me. So,
Right.
and same with like Demi Lovato, I've gotten that before too. Like certain, not necessarily like my voice in its entirety, but like certain words, I guess, or like certain notes, like we hit the same way, which is, I don't know. Mac has told me that before.
I'd have to listen to a lot more Demi Lovato to try and draw the line between those two dots, but
Yeah,
I don't
she
know.
just has a very like very strong, loud, like power house vocals, and I think I just forced myself to sound like her because I loved her. I still
Well,
do.
I mean, that's what all of us in our friend group like listen to a lot of anyway. That is a big influence on all of us. We all are
Yeah.
scene kids pretty much that just didn't, we just never grew out of it.
It's not a
So
phase, Mom.
it's definitely not a
is not
phase.
all right.
Emo is
is
not
a
dead.
phase.
So, but yeah, that's, so that's still the type of music that I listen to the most, out of anything. That
Yeah,
and
for
more
sure.
like metalcore stuff, which, that's what gets the blood pumping for me anyway. So I feel like
Yeah, I would say Mac and I have talked a lot about, I mean, if it were in like a perfect world, I think probably not just Mac, but some of the other guys in the band might enjoy like writing some harder material. But I just have to remind them, like, when it comes to my voice, it's not easy to try and like, I don't want to like force anything.
Right.
And I think just being a female makes it more feminine, but then it's still like we still got some bangers. I'll say that.
This is
We
true.
still got some, especially on this new album. Oh my gosh! I mean, I love the EP, but like eons away. Like
Yeah.
it's next level for sure.
Nice. So yeah, guys, they do have, this one is self-titled. They have a self-titled EP out. It's Feel Good. You can find it on Spotify, Pandora. It's on YouTube,
Apple
Apple
Music, yeah. I
Music.
think just about anywhere
Just
you
about,
can think about finding music, it's
yeah.
gonna be
So
there.
outside of these clips you're gonna hear tonight, go check that EP out as well, just to get kind of more of a vibe on some like full-length songs about where the band's at, and like Mary said, they're light years ahead of where that EP was, which is super cool, and I am more than excited. But I'm trying like pace myself because I don't want to start throwing these clips out here before before anything. We'll probably do that at the end. That way we
Well,
can
Like
focus
really
on
gotta-
this.
like really quiet in the
We
background.
gotta throw
right.
one in like early to give the people like a little taste of what it sounds
Yeah.
like.
I mean,
If they
true.
don't
We can
have-
do one now. Which one do you want to
if they
do
don't
first,
have
Mary?
time, if they don't have time to go like right now and search Spotify, we can drop like a new one right now.
Yeah, you should
And-
just play, or even just play like Not the Same in the background, like quietly or something, like while we
Okay.
chat a little bit.
Yeah, I can do that. Let me pull that up real fast.
And then
Well-
we can get to the clips if you want.
We might have to take another shot while that's happening.
I'm out of booze,
Ooh,
booze,
I like
so
that
you guys
idea.
can do that. I'll drink some beer.
But
Remember when I had the Sunday Scaries? They just melted right
they just
away
melted.
with that
Why do you think I
first shot.
do? Why do you think I do a podcast on Sundays?
Right.
Just
Probably for that. I mean, I would hope amongst other reasons. But probably
Yeah.
that's a nice.
No, that's it. Is to get rid of my Sunday scaries.
Nah,
That's
dude,
it.
that's
yeah.
it.
My man, Hig Sauce with the follow. Appreciate you, brother.
I was just gonna say something.
Oh yeah, follow us
completely-
on social media as well. I actually just made a TikTok, and
She did.
I'm
First
trying,
TikTok is a
guys,
banger.
I'm legitimately like researching and like trying to practice before I post another one. But
Why is
I
it
think I'm
always-
just gonna go at it, and if I struggle and fail, it'll be all the more fun.
The animals.
I
are
don't
very
really.
good.
I'm kind of shameless in that way. If you guys can just laugh at me and just struggle on TikTok.
You know what? YouTube might be a better idea.
Shamelessly, while we're talking about shameless, I still listen to Dyson Hollow in the car. And I know I wish Brendan was listening. He might be listening. But there's some really good songs from Dyson Hollow as well. I mean, you guys were in like your infancy stages, and
well, babies.
for me to listen to that and like how much your voice has developed since then is almost why I enjoy it most. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But when you guys are, I was showering before this and I was thinking like, all right, what am I going to talk about? And I was going to bring it up later than this, but I can't wait. I was working the merch table for Dyson Hollow at your show at a So Cool Underground, a little small venue here in Omaha. And you guys would play like the first 3 songs and like people were listening, you know, but it's a small venue. It's like underground, all hometown bands. Like nobody's there to see like, you know, a Mayday
Very
parade
fun,
or
though.
like the Used, you know,
Mayday
headliner.
was at Sokol Underground, I think, once, and I just remember getting shoved up against that column right in the middle of the freaking, like, right in the middle of everything, but it was
Yeah.
so worth it.
But I remember you guys starting to play the cover of Sugar We're Going Down, and it was the only cover you played.
Yeah.
And right when the band started playing the dude, people started flooding to the stage. Every person in that venue, and there wasn't a lot of them, it was maybe like 100 people, started flooding to the stage to jam, and you were just
That was fun.
rocking Pete Wentz's version of it. And I was like, man, like you're my sister, so I'm biased, right? Like I have to get that out of the way right away because I know I'm biased.
True.
I know I think you're an amazing singer because I love you and you're my sister. But I remember sitting there thinking like, man, this kid is talented. Like she
Aww.
has such a range of vocal ability. Like she's just up there, like she could sing any Paramore song in the world, right? And like everybody would be like, oh my god, she's so good, you know. But like to get up there and like even like your mannerisms on stage, like just rocking it out, I was like, dude, this is fucking good. Like this is really good. Like I am enjoying this a lot right now.
Oh, I love doing that cover. Well, and it's funny too because I would always be, I mean, like stage fright is just a thing, like regardless. I mean, I could say that I'm super confident on stage, and I look back at videos of Dyson Hollow and it's so funny to me. Like I could tell I was just so like not comfortable in my skin yet, and I'm so excited for COVID to be over so we can all get back to going to shows and
That'll be
Feel Good
super
can play.
dope. I feel like this podcast may or may not spring for a banner at your first gig, and we're gonna say sponsored by What in the World podcast.
Yeah,
And we're just gonna leave it
we
up
sure
there.
will. It's funny because I'm like
I would love
texting
that.
people right now. People are texting me saying like, "What's the link? What's the link?" So
I know I'm
sorry,
trying
looking at
to
my
find
phone,
it so I
but
can post it in there, but I'm having a son of a bitch of a time trying to like pull it up. I tried YouTube, Pandora, and Spotify, and it
I can
is
send you the Spotify.
yeah. Send it to
then.
me, that way I can have it saved, and I'll put
Yeah.
it in the chat.
I'll send you the Spotify.
There you go.
right
Don't
you
text
go.
it to me, email it to me.
now. Okay, email it or okay, yeah.
Yeah, email it.
Are you a businessman?
This is a very professionally run operation.
Respect.
This is how we this is how we run this.
Incredibly professional.
Everyone in chat's like,
I
this is not.
am very impressed. I'll stop texting you. I'm
We-
sorry. I'll just
No. Text me whenever, but like just for this right now, it'd be so much easier if I could just pull it straight off
we
the email.
No, I'm
Vice
only good at
President.
emailing.
Oh, please.
Yeah, next time you want to talk to Ben, just send him.
Mary's just gonna have
Hello,
like
Ben.
Emails only.
It's just gonna be a normal like, hey, how things going? It's gonna be a very professional email, like,
warm
Dear
regards.
Ben,
dearest Benton, per my last
best
email.
wishes. Per my
my
last
Actually, do not
email.
hit me with per my last email because I'm
I
gonna
hope
think you're
this
gonna be like
finds you
pissed.
well.
I'm gonna be like, what is she on right now?
I hope this finds you on Twitch.
Right. So I guess one of the questions I had for you, Mary, I guess is just I know that you've done a few of the oh shoot, what do you even call them? Like the X Factor or like The Voice.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know. They're not really talent shows, whatever you want to call them. Reality singing competitions, I guess.
There you go.
There it is.
Go. That sounds good.
So I kind of want to know, just because you and I haven't really sat down and talked about it, but I just want to know like what your experience was going through that, maybe some of the things you learned, some of the things you didn't like about them, and just we'll go from there.
Cool. Yeah. So I auditioned for The Voice specifically. I think it ended up being, I did like seven, that might be a lot, maybe like six different times. In the beginning, I was in high school still, and I was, I think, 16 or 17. And I went to the closest open casting call was in Chicago, and I wanted my mom to be like the one person to go with me. So we just kind of made it like a girls' trip type of thing. And sure enough, I got through to the next round, and I can go into detail about like the whole process. It might be a lot, but basically, I auditioned and got through to the next round, and from there they have you like stay in town for a couple days if you're available, and send you to a recording studio that's nearby, and they have you do like an in front of a camera, but not in front of like the actual judges. It's just like a bunch of more like casting directors and everything. um and I did not ever advance past the second stage. I think after that, there might be one more, and then you go on TV, or it might be TV immediately after that. I know, like just thinking of like my experience whenever I did go to the second round, that was at the recording studio. There was not like very many people there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could see the other contestants and like talk to them and stuff, but there wasn't really that many. So I did that, the like going through the initial casting call the first year, and then every year I went after that was really like for fun. They would email me saying like, hey, we're gonna put you through like the first round immediately, you don't have to worry about doing that again, because that's where you have to wait in line for
Right.
hours. And so they just like put me through immediately to the recording studio. And I think, like, if memory serves me right, I could be remembering incorrectly in my own favor, but I think I did really well each time. I know there was a couple times, like the first couple years, that I like forgot a lyric once. And then, like, one time my acid reflux was really bad and
Oh,
my
no.
voice sounded awful. And other than that, like, I think I did well, but overall, I'm super, super, super glad that I never went on the show.
Really?
Like, very, very glad. It was so fun though, being in a room of like thousands of people that all have the same passion as you and are all there for the same reason is super cool. Like, everyone is just open and chatty and talk about music, and you sing covers together when you're standing in line for hours, and you get to know people. And that reason alone is why like I kept going back, and me and my mom would go to Chicago for the weekend, which was always fun. So
That's cool. So at least there wasn't like,
yeah.
from your experience, there wasn't like these super like snooty, like I'm gonna fucking win this shit. Like,
No, not at all. I mean, not from my experience. I also was like kind of just in the fun mindset, I guess. Like, obviously, I would get really nervous, and like it was stressful. And I think that's another reason why I just wanted it to be me and my mom, because like she knows, like, we just know how to mesh with each other in like stressful situations. Like, she knows when to shut up and like just let me sit in silence for a little bit. And she knows when I need to go get food. I don't know, she's a really good traveling partner. So
that's good.
that's, yeah, it was always really fun. But at the end of the day, I can't imagine, like, because I was doing that solo,
Right.
and I love writing with my friends. Like, that is, I think that's why I love our music so much. And even if like it never got off the ground and nobody ever listened to it and nobody liked it, I don't care. Like, I love this music we're making because I'm making it with my friends, and we're a good little group. I think we love hanging out together, even just like outside of recording and tracking. And writing together. We just like hanging out.
That's good, and that makes it a lot easier and a lot more fun when you have people you like hanging out with and people that can vibe like well together. I hate using that phrase, but it kind of fits here. So yeah, it makes things a lot easier, which is super cool.
And you guys, sorry,
No,
Ben,
go
but
ahead.
you guys lost your drummer about the
Yeah.
time that you guys started going from Dyson Hollow, getting back into Feel Good wasn't even named yet. Um, so how did
Correct.
you find your guitarist from Dyson Hollow as well? You guys, great person, was the guitarist, very talented person, another female artist.
Yeah, she's stupidly talented. She's amazing.
But when it came time to launch Feel Good, the stars just didn't align, not that she wasn't good enough or anything like that. But tell us about how you found your guitarist and now drummer slash producer these days.
Tanner is literally everything, but not to jump
Tanner
ahead.
Tanner is their producer and slash drummer.
Bassist, drummer, a little bit everything.
A man does it all.
Yeah, he's just like a jack of all trades. But yeah, so basically Dyson Hollow was put on hold when I was going to school. I was going to Northwest Missouri State University, and Mac, my brother, who is in Feel Good as well, we had always written, like, even when I went off to college, like, he would send me stuff on the piano and I would write lyrics to it, and like that never stopped. And then also Mac had been continuing to just like hang out and jam with our drummer, that was from Dyson Hollow. And when I was done with school, I came back and I was like, all right, who's ready to like pick up where we left off? Like if anyone's in that position and they're available, like I would love to. Because Mac and I were obviously very much ready. And it wasn't in the cards, like you said, for our guitarist, but we ended up working with Mikey for a bit until he had to move, who was our drummer from Dyson Hollow. And so I just started texting pretty much anyone I could think of that has ever played an instrument in their life. And I started just like trying to think of really talented people, though, and people that I get along with really well. And so I reached out to a buddy of mine who, from high school, who was not available, but he said, my buddy Mark is looking for a band, and thank everything that is holy that he sent us Mark, because Mark is the bomb. He's grown a lot too since I've started playing with him, and I think he has really like molded himself to be the musician that Feel Good needs, which is really like, I wouldn't ask him to do that, but he really has.
And little plug to Mark also. He's what, like 90 days sober or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, claps.
I
Good
don't
job,
know
Mark.
the
Way to go, Mark.
number. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but
He has grown so much as a person, and I know a large part of it is he wants to be the best version of himself for your band, which is so admirable. Like when you're in the ground stages, you're not Paramore, you're not Mayday Parade, you don't have platinum albums, but I think he sees the potential that lies within the band and getting to be a part of something larger, because he was in a lot of screamo, like grunge, which there's nothing against that music, it's not necessarily my forte, but I think he got a part of Feel Good and really started realizing like, hey, there's something here. This could be really big, and even if it never gets to the Paramore, Mayday, what have you level, he's molded himself into the right person that can be fit for that level, which is fantastic. I mean, that's really awesome.
Yeah, you put that perfectly. He's put in a lot of work, but not like very modestly. Like I recognize it because I see him once a week, which is perfect for like I don't see him every day, but I see him just enough to like even like physical appearance, like he just looks healthy and happy. And I think he's even been vegan like since he went sober. He's also like stopped eating meat. I think he maybe cheats every now and then.
That's where you lose me, man.
Don't we all?
The vegans. The vegans. That's where you lose me, bro.
No, that's funny. Well,
Kidding.
that's awesome. And
I love me some meat.
I don't know Mark, but I'm super happy to hear that like he's like doing good and that he's like, you know, turning around and just becoming like the best version of himself for himself and for you guys, which is super cool. We have a question
Ben,
from.
I was just gonna say, Ben, do you want to read that question?
Yeah,
from,
and
this is
it's
from
Coke.
Justice Coke.
Okay,
Mary.
good, because I was about ready.
Hey,
I
what's
wanted
up,
I wanted to
guys?
make sure that I said this right. Otherwise, like I didn't want to get roasted for pronouncing dude's name wrong or saying something. So Coke asked, he wants to know what the symbolism on y'all's EP artwork is. You know, what the symbolism behind the coral snake and the flowers are, or is it just that's the picture y'all chose?
So that I'm also a graphic designer, and so I do all of our artwork. And except there's one post that I have on Instagram that I had a girl do for me because I'm obsessed with her style, and I kept wanting to copy it. And I was like, I should just pay her to do this. But so for the EP, actually our producer Tanner, who I didn't really get to, you had asked also how we found Tanner. Tanner was introduced to us from Mark. They had written together for years previously as well, and he's the jack of all trades that I mentioned. Just literally so talented, it's stupid. But anyway, Tanner has a snake named Slippy, and I was like watching Slippy grow as we would go over, because that's where we go to practice and track and record and everything. And I don't know, it's kind of up to interpretation in a couple of ways, but what I was thinking when I was creating it was like there's always going to be snakes in the grass, but you just got to keep growing. Like I watched Slippy grow as we were writing our EP, and we had a lot of setbacks too. But just keep, like, even not saying that we had any snakes in the grass that directly affected our music, but just in general, just in life, that there's going to be obstacles and there's going to be things that should set you back, but just to keep growing. And hopefully you can have some flowers bloom around you as you're spreading your good vibes, because feel good is a lot of why we're called Feel Good is because none of us know how to read or write music. We don't really know exactly what we're doing, but we just do what feels good and feels natural, and just try and grow together and really uplift each other, and try and take that snake in the grass and make it something beautiful.
That's dope. That's dope as hell. I never
Thanks,
thought
buddy.
that asked that question before, but I'm really glad that Coke asked that, and now we
Yeah,
have
thanks,
that
Justice. That was a really good question.
that background. That's awesome.
I love talking about, like, I am just a creative person, and I love talking about like my contributions to Feel Good, which are lyrics and artwork. The other guys, I feel like they cover a lot more range behind the scenes. Like, you guys have no idea how hard they work. Like,
I bet
the boys work so freaking hard, and they have to carry an instrument. And I'm really lucky that it's built in.
Right.
I don't have to carry anything.
Luther wanted to know, going back to when we were talking about singing competitions and when you went and did those. Wanted to know what you sang for your auditions.
Ooh, good question. That was actually really, really insanely stressful for me to pick something. I think I would agree with Alex that I do have like a versatile voice, and where I can sing different genres and like inflect my voice in different ways to fit that. But I would actually argue that country is where my voice sounds the best. And I am just not a country artist at all. So it's like, do I want to go on The Voice and sing a country song and then have them like pigeonhole me as a country artist for the rest of my life? Like, that was really stressful for me trying to decide what to do. But I remember the songs that like made an impression on me that I remember like before I blacked out as I was singing. Like I remember seeing the look on the judge's face. The very first song I did when I was 16 was Stars by Nocturnal. Shit, I can't look at this.
I can't help you out on that one. Hold on, let me look it up and see if I can find it.
Yeah, she's man, it's a beautiful song. It's but I am really sad that I can't think of the name. Something Nocturnal.
Not Nocturnals, it's Nocturnal and something.
It's called Stars. Anyway, another one that I remember being like a good impression. Like anything Sam Smith. Stay With Me. Lay Me Down was always a good one.
Was it Grace Potter in the Nocturnals?
Grace Potter and the Nocturnals. Thank you. Yes,
welcome.
that's it. She just belts it in the chorus, and that's when I blacked out in the audition, though. Like I just came to and was like,
"Oh, it's over.
Are they clapping for me?" Yeah, I was still a minor then, so my mom was in the room, and I remember turning around. Like my mom had to be in there with me, and I turned around to her, just crying her eyes out, and I was like, "What happened?"
What happened?
I remember when you won the Northwest Missouri State talent.
Oh yeah,
I remember going to that talent show. That was lit.
I remember Mary.
Oh, that's right. Benny was there.
She sent us the video of her final song of her winning, and the entire stadium of people standing up and applauding, and I bawled like a baby. Like I opened that video at like 7:58 a.m. Like I was about ready to get to work. I'm like, I'll watch this video, and I cried. Like I cried a lot watching you sing. Like I don't know what that emotional like.
It was an emotional song too.
I don't know what that emotional tie is to watching like your baby sister get up there and just slay the stage and just sing such an emotional song. But I cried so fucking hard, and I'm like, well, now I'm gonna get in the shower and go to work. Like,
it's called pride,
thanks,
Alex.
Mary.
That's pride.
I guess so.
You're so proud of your little sister getting out there and just demolishing the competition at the talent show. It was awesome. I remember being there for that. It was super great. I got all the goosebumps and everything.
Were you there for the first night or the second night?
I was there for one of them. It was one of those trips to Northwest that ended up in a haze because of how we partied.
I know.
But
I think we were there for the second night of that little, it was like a variety show. And Jamie played the piano with me, and she is so talented too. Yeah, she's super, super talented.
I think we made it a point to come up to Northwest for that one because we were like, oh shit, Mary's in the competition. We were like, get in the car, let's go.
I was so nervous for that. I think I puked before.
Classic.
I was just like, hold on. Ralph real quick, and I was like, all right, let's go.
All right, let's get it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I guess I have a couple of questions. One of them, I guess, is
really
still kind
quick,
of.
Can I take a shot?
Yeah, go ahead.
You ask this question.
Yeah,
cool.
for
Let's
sure.
do it, Mary.
I don't think we took the one that we poured earlier. No.
I've taken one so far.
You don't know.
But I'm out of liquor now, so.
¿Por qué no?
But yeah, so I guess my first question was, did you feel, I guess, at any point during your auditions for those singing competitions that you might not have made it because there wasn't like a sob story attached? Because I know, and this is one of those things that irks me about those singing competitions, is that if you have a good sob story, it makes for good TV. They're gonna put you on. But I don't know. Do you feel like there was any kind of bias, and it was not, talent related?
This is a good question to take a shot right before she answers this, because I have my own very distinct views and ideas.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
This
blang,
question.
blang, blang.
Hugo. Yep, second night. You're right, Hugo. It was the second night.
So I feel confident saying, like I said, there are a couple times where I just like biffed it, like I just fucked it up. Wait, can I cuss? Have I
Yeah.
cussed
Have you
already?
watched any of our
I-
podcasts at all? That's like the only thing I do.
I don't know why. I just like I real quick was like, Mom.
You know who I am, Mary. Like I, sailor's mouth.
Yes.
So
Yes. I will say some of them I just like fucked up in my own right. Like I just didn't do my best. But there were a few auditions where it's like they reached out to me and asked me to come back. They asked me to like skip the first stage and just like jump to the second, whatever, with the recording studio. And I get there, nail it, and all I hear is, "You're incredibly talented. You're so beautiful. You have really good original music." Like they even had watched like my stuff on YouTube and like commented on that and told me how good it was, and just said like it wasn't what they were looking for, like in particular. So I don't
very
know
corporate
if
bullshit answer.
I don't know. My dad's crying. Dad, don't cry. Sorry, he texted us.
Oh.
I love you, Dad. But yeah, I don't know if there's a certain, maybe like, because there's a ton of directors, like casting directors. So maybe, Pete is supposed to find a girl with a certain look, or who has a certain style to her voice, or who has, I don't know, who they're looking for something in particular, and I just didn't fit that bill. Like I just didn't check the boxes or whatever. Could have been that I was too boring. Maybe they didn't need a ginger on that season. Like I really don't know. But I have seriously questioned some of the people, and I don't watch the show because it's too frustrating. Like I see and hear some of the voices, and not anyone in particular, but it's just like, I am pretty sure that if you were to ask America whose voice they liked better, or who would they rather see on the show, I think that they would have decided differently.
Right.
But
Where's Brendan when I need him? He could talk for hours ad nauseum about that.
And in the years following one of your very first auditions that was a genuine audition before they started inviting you back. That girl from Hey Monday like went and almost won the thing. I think she got second.
She did win.
Did she win? Yeah. A band called Hey Monday. You can go look it up.
Cassidy Pope is her name.
Yeah. Very talented singer. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah. Super good voice.
I feel like it like coincided almost perfectly with when they were inviting you back to be on the casting stage versus just, hey, show up and be with the general
like the
population.
Open call. Yeah.
They were like, man, we just awarded a girl the title who was a female pop punk singer, and we can't repeat that again because we're gonna be,
I thought that
too much in that genre. We're gonna be awarding that genre too much, so we got to look elsewhere. And I still to this day will die on that hill of making sure that we don't bring another female vocal artist to the stage where she can actually win, because then we're going to get labeled as, well, we're just a female pop punk vocal artist stage.
See, and that's aggravating for me because I feel like on shows like that, outside of Hi Ivy,
this is my key cat.
I feel like shows like that should worry less about who they award and what genre they sing and why they award that, and more focus more on the talent of people and judge things that way. But I don't know if that makes for good TV, and they have their casting directors and their production and why they do things the way they do them. But that's the reason that those shows aggravate the hell out of me.
And Ed Nuts just brought up a point where she says now she sings mostly country, though.
That's where I know her name from is from country.
And that's why that's
good
why
point,
I'm
Ed Nuts.
so glad that you never would I have loved for you to win The Voice? Absolutely. Do I think that you have a voice that's good enough to get out there on your own and not be locked into a contract with a voice? 1,000%. I don't want you
Hell yeah.
out there singing what you're told to be sung. I want you out there singing what is in your heart and what your passion is and where you find joy within singing as your older brother. Like, yeah, it would have been great for you to win the voice, but I would rather have you singing what you love to sing versus what someone else told you to sing.
Retweet.
And that's why I'm glad that you never made it past any of those initial stages on The Voice, and you can do what you want to do and sing what you want to sing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna paddle that boat with Alex all day long as one of your friends as well, because that's the same thing. Like, I would hate for you to be sucked into a contract with a label or somebody that's gonna tell you where to be, what to sing, all that jazz. And I'll go on a rant all day long about the music labels and how much I despise them. But anyway,
Yeah, no, I that's why I am super grateful as well, because I mean, one, like I said, I love writing with especially Mac. Like, if I couldn't have had Mac on that journey with me, I would have been like, nah, you can rip up the deal. Like, I'm really glad. I don't know like specifically what record NBC works with or like how that all functions, but I do not imagine that I would be happy, at least as happy as I am right now. So
yeah, I don't see
I'm very
you
glad,
or the
very
band
glad for
being
that.
very pleased. I mean, I think the initial like euphoria of getting a big contract with a record label would be super cool. But then I feel like you guys, from what I know about at least you and Mac and how you've described you, Mark and Tanner all melding together, I could see you guys getting very disenchanted very quickly, being
Yeah,
told what
yeah.
to do.
Well, and one thing too that I did keep in mind, like realistically, the last like 2 or 3 times I went to The Voice, one was for fun because my mom and I loved that weekend. And we didn't just go to Chicago, we also went like to Denver and to Houston. And one thing I kept in mind on those trips too was if you just get on TV and people see you and they go look you up, they'll find whatever music you're doing, they'll find your band. Like towards the end, like I was not trying to win. I wasn't trying even to be picked necessarily. I just wanted people to hear me for that exposure and then be like, all right, cool, dip out and
Right.
go back to Omaha and do my thing and just hope that I had like maybe a little more site traffic. Like
Right. So
just kind of hoping for something, just going to have a fun weekend with Nancy because
right.
we got lit.
Right. So for exposure, and the words of my good friend Hugo, for poops and chuckles.
For poopies and chucks.
Coke,
Poops and
Absolutely.
chucks.
Coke says, honestly, y'all's families' love and support for each other is on another level. Yeah, my siblings and parents love each other, but not like y'all. The Brummels is an example that everybody should follow.
I'll second that opinion. The
And
way
I
y'all
love you so
interact as a
much, Coke.
family is
That
just
was so
outstanding.
nice of you to say.
I could cry. I certainly could. My
Yeah. I
goodness. Yeah,
love being
that's really
around all
sweet,
you
Coke.
guys. Like, the couple times that I've been fortunate enough to be around the entire Brummel squad, for things, I've had such a good time. And
That's really
the way y'all's
nice.
family just like welcomes complete randoms, hello, um,
Well, yeah.
into your fold. And then now I've been good friends with Mary for, fuck, what is it now, like 8 years, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's been a minute.
Alex, more and more, like more so, like our friendship has grown since that infamous party at Benzingo for y'all's graduation, and then just like being able to like talk to Mac and hang out with Mac and Abby as well. It's been really cool.
Well, it's not even a family thing, right? It's just like it's why we're so. I don't want to like sit here and talk about the Brummel family and like how cool we are, but like
We're the
it
best.
it doesn't matter who you are or where you've come from, and that's a lot of the focus of this podcast is come as you are, just be a good person. like just come around, be a good person, and we're gonna love on you. Like it really should be that way across the board. People should be more accepting as newcomers come on and expose that vulnerability. Like, yeah, no, you're part of us. Come
One
on,
of us.
Paul. Yeah, you're part of us. So anyway,
So getting back to, I guess, a little bit more interviewee type questions.
Put me in the hot seat.
Right, exactly. So my other question is, and this one might be a little bit more of a hard hitter. I don't know. Have you now, or with your experience with the singing competitions, have you experienced any, like misogyny or any misogynistic like type things in the music industry? I know there has been, maybe not recently, but it used to be a big deal. And I just didn't. I just wanted to know if you'd experienced that, and like if you had any other thoughts on that.
You know, to to really think back to when I like could have experienced that, I was so young, and my number one concern was not showing my age. Like that's all I thought about. Was like don't look 15, don't act 15. Like I didn't really I almost thought, like reflecting back, I think more about my actions than other people. Like I think I was just so insecure with like how I seemed. I mean, there could have been, I don't even remember, which maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I like blocked it out. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
maybe I don't know.
But
I'm at least happy to hear that you didn't like face any of that. At least going through singing competitions and that when you would try to went for the voice and everything.
No, yeah, I like, not that I can recall. Again, maybe my brain did me a solid and just blocked it on out.
Well, good shit.
Yeah, yeah.
well, I think the music industry's job is to find the best people that sing the best. And yeah, maybe on a show like The Voice, with a heartthrob story behind it or something like that, there might be some malintentions in the sense of we're not trying to find the best voice, we're trying to find the best story.
Right.
And that may have existed, but as your brother, I would have been all over something that would have indicated that a male got put into the ringer versus you just because
Yeah.
male female. And I can't recall anything like that either.
No, like I guess, well, like I said, it wasn't something that was as present on my mind, so maybe I like wasn't looking for it.
Right.
Not saying that it only exists if you're looking for it. Like I'm not implying that, but
Yeah.
it was never something that like made an impression on me, I guess. I think I was just so consumed with myself, like not in a positive way though, but I was
Right.
like so insecure and not confident in who I was yet that I was just like not, like I said, I was thinking more about my actions versus like how other people treated me, like my actions and reactions to how people treated me, but nothing really like sticks out in particular, which I guess is a really good thing.
Ben, can I take a second to just acknowledge Ed
Yeah.
Nuts, who
Yeah.
says,
Go ahead for sure.
don't let them change who you are, Mary. Ed Nuts is one of my good friends. We've known each other for a while.
Nice.
She said the Brummels raise good people, which makes me very happy. And then Justice wants to know where he can find your voice episode. I don't think any of those are posted online. Like you never made it.
No, I don't think. Yeah, Mary never made it
No,
to
I
like
wasn't
the
in
live
front of like
shows.
the judges like that are on TV. It was just the producers like behind the scenes. It was filmed, but I've never had access to that either. That'd be cool. Maybe I can ask.
Perhaps you
And
make a
then
highlight track for
That'd be
a promo.
cool.
maybe this is a good time, Ben, to drop a little feel good music.
Yeah, I was
in
about to
there
say
while we take a shot. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Let's have a look at one of the new ones. Which one do you want to do first, Mary?
Oh, Soul on Fire.
Soul on Fire? Okay.
Sure.
Is my soul set on fire?
Oh my god, I thought that was it. I was like, that ain't it.
What are you trying to say, Mary? My voice isn't good enough to be in the band?
Oh, I thought you had my oh my. By the way, Ivy is pleasantly sitting on my lap. I'm glad she was able to make a little guest appearance. And is not yowling. She is not fixed, and she's experiencing some hormonal changes, and she will not shut up. Like,
What a gal.
next level. What are you using?
What's that?
Seagram's Gin.
Are you Nancy Brummel?
I was going to say, taking a page out of Nancy Brummel's book right here. I threw a little orange juice in there to make it so they're a little bit less.
I'm drinking Bacardi.
Mary's also very good at freestyling. Maybe we can get her to freestyle later.
Put her right in the hot seat on that one.
Dude,
A couple more shots and I can get you to freestyle.
I could at least do. I have one rap that I made in high school that my friends ask me to do all the time. It's about. It's not very nice. It's my. Like I mentioned before, I used to say not very nice things about people I was jealous of, and I got a whole rap about it.
Yeah, you throw back to old school, Mary.
Yeah, a little high school pre-brow Mary.
Ben, do you have that song pulled up or what?
It's going right now, brother.
Oh, it is?
Wow, sounds great.
It sounds amazing.
Can you hear it? Because we can't.
It's on the stream.
I just started listening to it. I can hear it on the stream.
Oh, cool. I'm glad I can. What did you pick a timestamp that I sent you, or did you
No, I'm running the whole thing. It started out hot, and I'm just like letting it ride.
I will say, I think those are very rough tracks as well for everyone listening. They're not final by any means. 1020 is probably the roughest of the three. Soul on Fire and the easiest part are pretty close to being
Okay, Abby
mixed
says
and
we
mastered.
quiet now. So
Sorry.
listen to it. Okay, I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Same.
All right, that was Soul on Fire, and that shit was banging. That was so good. Damn, I'm so glad I got a sneak peek of that.
Thank you. Can you hear
That's
me,
awesome.
or is the
Yeah,
mic
yeah. No,
covered?
you're good. You're good. That was good. I know,
you
Chad.
just-
We kind of like talked through the whole thing, but whatever.
Sorry, I didn't know they could hear like one or the other.
Yeah, and I was like debating on just like muting you guys, and I was like, fuck it, I'll let it ride.
We
But
can.
that was so good. I'll play that one again. I'll play that one again at the outro when it's done. I'll let it ride, and you guys can listen to the whole
There you
thing
go.
again with no interruptions.
Sorry,
But
guys.
that was super good. Wow, damn! This album about to be on repeat in the truck while I'm driving around.
It's pretty. We like to say that it's a really good, like, collection that represents like all of our strongest assets that we bring to the table individually. Like each song in a different way elevates our strengths, which is cool. I am really proud, I will say, for the album, all of the lyrics are mine. Like I wrote the lyrics for each song. And I can definitely say, speaking on behalf of Mac and Mark and Tanner, that they gave everything that they have to every song. And I love like listening through and just thinking like, okay, for this part that you're going to listen, just listen for the drums. Like this part, just listen to the guitar. And just like appreciating they're so talented. I'm very, very lucky to work with them.
It's so good. It's actually a good segue into this because I want to talk, I guess, a little bit. Or I guess listen to you talk a little bit about what it's been like for you to work on an EP and then now on this album, and just like the process that's happened and like some of your thoughts and feelings on on this journey that you've been on with these guys, and how this is all coming together.
I will say the EP was very, very different because we were still going through like interchanging different band members. The guys we have now they all worked on the EP. But for like good example, Don't Be Scared off the EP has our drummer from Dyson Hollow. He was able to record that before he had to move. And then 4 Novembers ago, we worked with another drummer named Corey, who's super, super talented. It just didn't really, I guess, work out like fit wise. I think being a female vocalist maybe makes it a little, I don't know if I'm just in my head about it, or it's like intimidating as a musician to try and like adapt to my style, or I don't know if like why like that works for people to, I think maybe being a female vocalist is like not as comfortable. I could be totally
I
wrong
mean,
about that,
perhaps, and it could
but
go back to what you said earlier about a couple of guys like Mac wanting to really push and go for a harder style, which would be cool. But given the fact that yeah, you are a female vocalist, it would be perhaps a little bit more challenging to try and fit your voice into that style. So maybe that was part of the reason that it didn't meld really
yeah,
well with Corey.
I think you're right. And it's nothing like, it's nothing personal for sure. I mean, it'd be the same if I was not with Feel Good and I went to go join a group that had a certain style set in place. And I was like, nah, that's not,
Well,
that's
and
just like not what I'm comfortable with. So,
and a lot of those guys came from screamo bands,
yeah, like
which is
harder, more hardcore
it's
for sure.
the genre that you guys are in is a tough genre to be in.
It's hard to pigeonhole it, like we said
Because we're
earlier,
not
because
even,
I
I don't even
want
know what we are.
yeah, I almost want to classify it as like pop punk, but it's not really. But it has elements of that, and it also has elements of alternative. But then it also has elements of like, Mayday Parade's like ballad style songs as well. So it's like a mix of like 3 or 4 different genres that are coming together.
And
But what's super dope about it is that it works super well and it sounds so good, but it's just hard to classify it as one certain thing. So you guys might be trailblazing and creating a whole new genre of music. Who knows?
Ooh, that'd be cool. I hope so.
it's like in the early 2000s when like Blink 182, Fall Out
Yes.
Boy, Panic
Yep.
at the Disco, Paramore, when all those bands were famous, you started to see a surgence of that music into the top 100 billboards, that are so heavily touted. Like
Right.
like The Weeknd has been in the top 100 for
X amount of weeks.
60 weeks now or whatever. I don't even know what it is. But nowadays you don't see that in the billboards, and you're not making that music to be in the billboards.
Right.
You're not creating a band to try to be big and famous and make a shitload of money. You're making that music because that's what drives you, and you feel it.
It's
You
what
feel the
feels
music that
good.
you-
Feel good.
It's
Exactly.
what feels good. Exactly.
That's why we're called
So
Feel Good.
in the same breath, within saying, like, yeah, it might be foolish to start a small podcast. It might be foolish to start a small band. But you know what? No big podcast or big band ever started from a big podcast or a
Yeah.
big band. It started as a small band or podcast. So we feel a lot of the same.
If you guys can't
like,
tell, Alex is really
passions.
plugging the podcast right now.
No, I'm just saying that's
No,
that's
you're
why
right.
you
But
do
no,
things like
yeah,
this.
yeah. No, for
that's
sure.
why you do it. That's why you do it, is because it drives you. It's what gives you passion.
That's what I look forward to just for us on Sunday evenings. Like I do other things, and I didn't stream today because I was like, you know what? I've been doing it a lot this week, but I was like super excited to come in and do the podcast again. I look forward to it every Sunday.
Yeah,
And I
especially
feel like
knowing
that's-
that Mary is going to be on it.
Exactly, and I feel like that's how Mary you are when you get to go to band practice every week and work on that and work on hammering out the finer details of this album, and then getting ready once this is done to gear up and create new music.
We have all, it's really funny you say that, because just like last week, we all, I think maybe just because we're artists, are pretty like sensitive, emotional people. We're all very open with our feelings, and we share love. Like, I can't leave band practice without getting a string of messages from the guys, just like, man, like, I love you guys. So lucky to be working with you. We have all kind of said like Wednesday night is when we get together, and Wednesday has become like the highlight of the week for
Hey,
sure.
Mary,
Yeah.
I want to ask Ben a question.
Yeah.
Why don't you ever text me and say, I'm so grateful to be working with you after we get done with the podcast?
I was just
Ben.
literally going to mention that because
Yeah,
you did
that's
that not
bullshit,
too
dude.
many weeks ago.
Wow.
You did the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, I texted you and said that, dude.
That's true, and I kind of just.
Why don't you ever text me, Ben?
I'm sorry, Alex. I'll be a better
okay.
I'll be a better friend and podcast
Okay.
co-host,
okay.
and I'll text you
Fine.
sappy love
Hey,
messages when we're done.
Ben, it's
Message
fine.
takes
dude.
a minute,
Ben,
bud.
it's fine. Mary, continue with your story.
It's so nice to be recognized, and like,
That would be nice.
All right, so
To
let me
have
adding
someone-
Alex to my relationship checklist of people I need to
Yes,
text more
please do.
often.
Mary, tell
no,
me more.
but yeah,
Tell me
Boo-boo, do you
more
want me to
about
send you
how much
flowers?
you appreciate your coworkers.
it's so nice to be respected,
yeah.
and to be loved, and
That would be nice.
Oh my God, Mary,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to send Alex flowers and chocolates after this, so he feels
I'm
loved
never
and
gonna be
appreciated.
invited back onto the podcast again.
Reagan and Kristen give me love every day. It's okay, Ben. I
I'll
don't
text
need your
Kristen
love.
and tell her to
It's
give you
fine.
love for me on my behalf.
No, that's not how it works. Anyway, Mary, continue. Sorry. Don't mean to cut you off from this.
No, yeah, you're good. Basically, I'm just saying that we definitely look forward to Wednesdays as a highlight of the week. We have so much fun. It's very, very fortunate that we are such good friends. And I hope that reflects in the music. Like,
I think it does.
and
I
it
think it
works
does,
for
too.
for criticism too. Like, we're very open with like saying if we don't like something too, or like,
Well,
I think it would sound better if it was like this, because when you have that rapport and that relationship, and it comes from a place of support and trust and love rather than like malice, it's only
Right,
to
it's
make
that
us better.
constructive criticism that you guys can give each other because you all want what you're producing and what you're putting out to be the best possible thing that it can be, and in the back of your minds, that's what you guys have.
Exactly.
And it's not judgment, right? It's not me saying
No,
like I
no.
think you suck at writing music. It's me saying, "Hey, I like what you're doing here, but I think we can change this." And people should have a pretty good general understanding, if they're not too prideful of the idea of, okay, well, let's collaborate and try to make this the best we can.
Right.
I feel lucky too, having had an artistic background, like educationally, like going through graphic design, like doing critiques was a very normal thing. And I think I almost like critiqued myself before the guys even have a chance. And I would love for them to give me even more criticism and feedback. It's for me, it's I just straight up am like, ooh, I do not like that. Tell me like what I should
Yeah.
do different.
Right,
Like,
and
what do you
that's
think?
one of those things coming from like an artistic background, and even sometimes with Alex and I, like you're your own toughest critic, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
even
yeah.
if you are being really hard on yourself about a certain aspect of something, either having somebody validate that or looking at you and telling you, hey, no, you're good. You're being a little like you're being too hard on yourself, and like we all think that this is perfect the way it is, or whatever. I think that helps a lot as well.
I appreciate Tanner, our producer, bassist, drummer. He does all of it, but he is so kind and like genuine and authentic. And I selfishly hope that he doesn't ever become a big producer because I want to keep them all to myself. But I would hope that like the rest of the industry out there that I haven't experienced is an ounce of kind as Tanner is,
Mary,
because he has it down for how to treat people and criticism and everything. Yes, Alex.
Mary, you should tell them what Tanner operates out of, like an office or like a big building, or like he's a pretty good producer, right? So where does he like operate out of?
You might be surprised that the finished music that you hear is out of his basement. He is 100% committed to making it sound as good as it does. And you could put that guy in a cardboard box and he could make this audio sound incredible. But he has a pretty nice setup in his basement. And he also, I think it's really important to note that he is, as I've mentioned, he is essentially our drummer, but he does a lot of programming for our drums, like by hand, like goes in and makes it sound as human as possible. And of course, like live drums as much as possible. But he is so meticulous and detail oriented. And you would think that our music, I wish you guys could hear, especially our new album, like in full, like fully produced, but it comes out of a basement and you would have no idea.
Well,
It's
that's
incredible.
and that is, and some of the best things started in a basement or a
Yeah.
garage or two bros in separate parts of the country in a couple of dingy rooms.
Bro, man, Amazon started out of garage, bro. All
Exactly.
right.
So
Amazon started out of the garage. So
it doesn't matter where you start; you
keep your
just make the
dreams
best of
alive,
it.
man.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the
No,
thing. Just coming together and making it as good as you can.
you gotta feel good about it, right?
Exactly.
Feel good.
Feel good.
I think you know what. Let's listen to one of the other tracks that Mary wanted us to sample. And while we're doing that, chat, rack your brains, think of some more questions that you have for Mary or for us. Just in regards to everything that we've talked about so far. Mary, which one do you want to do next?
Um, 10:20.
10:20. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not doing timestamps. I'm gonna let the whole thing go.
Okay.
And this time we'll
Oh
try
God,
and
my
not.
vocals are not official. My vocals are not official. Do not judge me.
Disclaimer: the vocals are not official. This time we'll try
And
not
the
to talk.
instruments aren't
Did
either.
you say the vocals are official? Is that what you
They're
said?
super official and judge them harshly.
So
No,
this
they're
is
not
this
official.
is the official track.
Yep,
All right.
it's all done.
Perfect.
This time we won't talk through the whole thing.
Yes.
Kinda knew it all along. Mouth tape shut, but the writing's on the wall. Did I do enough? I would have if I was made half of whatever you are. Too good to be true. Go ahead and say I told you so. Heaven's not too far away, but it feels like hell on a day like today. What if what's best for you doesn't work for me? What if I can't lose everything that you hate in me? Sitting here crying, trying not to leave, 'cause of how you left and how you left everything between us is crumbling, but you stand tall. Another mess I made to clean, another reason I should fall. Kinda knew that I was wrong. Maybe that's why I'm giving you another song. Did I do enough? You would have, and I know that better than I know myself. Too good to be true. Go ahead and say those things you used to. I can do this for you, but you can't. What if what's best for you doesn't work for me? What if I become everything that you hate in me? Sitting here crying, trying not to leave, 'cause of how you left and how you left everything between us is crumbling, but you stand tall. Another mess I made to clean, another reason I should fall down slowly. Don't do this for me.
I don't know if the ending's done.
Fall
I can't remember.
down slowly. Don't do this for me. What if what's best for you doesn't work for me? What if I become everything that you hate in me? Sitting here crying, trying not to leave, 'cause of how you left and how you left everything between us is crumbling, but you stand tall. Another mess I
Heck yeah. We talk about vocals not done. What? So good.
That's the scratch vocals.
So good.
Let's
Thank
go.
you.
That was awesome. That
Thank
was
you.
super great.
I could not hear anything, so I have no idea what you guys just heard.
I mean, you came in right when there's probably like maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes left.
It's
Dude,
a
I'm
long
all-
song.
It's long,
I'm
but
all
it was so
fired
good
up.
though. It was
I'm
so
all
good.
fired up after hearing that song. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been really fun actually. We kind of started this like new process unintentionally, it just kind of worked out this way. But so the guys, typically how it works is like Mac or Mark or Tanner will bring like instrumentals to the table. I have a couple songs on the album that were like derived from me, but for the most part, it's like a blank canvas. And I just sit there and listen to them work on it. And I just like go in my own little zone and pull up that notes app
Yeah.
and just go to town on some lyrics while I'm just like sitting and marinating with like what they're writing. And once they have like a pretty good foundation down, like this is the verse, this is the chorus, then I'll go in like, are you guys ready to have some vocals on there for to listen to? And I go in and do just like a scratch vocals, just something for them to hear like while they're continuing to like polish everything so they know what it sounds like, and so they can like base their riffs off of the melody that I'm singing, whatever, and they hear the lyrics for the first time, like when I'm doing the scratch vocals. And it's so fun watching their like reaction to hearing everything for the first time. It's I used to never get nervous, but now that I'm like, ooh, they're hearing it for the first time, I get like a little bit of butterflies and like, I hope they like it.
That's cool. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
that's a neat little insight onto like y'all's creative process, in how you build songs.
So
I like
the
it.
music gets written first and then you go and add lyrics to it. Is that right?
I mean, it happens both ways, but for the album specifically, actually just last week, we tried doing it reverse. I think of like verses and choruses in my head all the time, and I hear exactly how I want the instruments to be, but
Yeah.
I am the worst at translating that. So it's more common that, well, and especially a lot of it has to do with who gets to practice first. Like if Mac gets there first and he has an idea that he's been working on the piano, I'll get there and hear Mac like just tracking like whatever he had as an idea, and I'm like, ooh, lyrics just instantly start flooding in, and I'm like, can we work on this? Like, is this a song that we can work on right now? So I love having that empty canvas and just like filling in the vocals. You can change a song entirely, like just how you sing it. And I love having the, I guess, power to, I love having, it's literally like if you go to a painting, would you rather have something completely blank or like, I don't know, there's more creative freedom to just kind of run with it when you have an empty canvas.
I got you.
It's not empty. I mean, like,
right.
There's emotion there, and it's just like filling in the blanks.
It's like molding it.
Yeah,
So I would
yeah,
say
yeah.
less of like a blank canvas and more kind of like a semi-started like
An
clay
outline.
ceramic or something that you can then mold how you need it.
I think a better way to put it is like if you're an interior designer and you have a house that has a really good foundation, and you could put the ugliest paint on those walls and the worst furniture, but if you kind of like tidy it up nice and just wrap it up in a little bow, you can sell it for a lot of money.
Nice. We have one question. This one comes
Great example.
This one
Thank
comes from Abby and is directed directly for Alex.
Who's Abby?
Your sister.
Oh, okay.
She wanted to know, Alex, if you ever get jealous that your siblings are in a band together. So if you're jealous of Mac and Mary.
If I'm jealous of them being in a band together, no. I think that's awesome. Am I jealous of their talent? Absolutely, because that's why people think they're good, right? Is because it's like, man, I wish I had that talent, you know? So like, yeah, I'm jealous of their talent, but no, I'm not jealous of the fact that they're like in a band together.
Right. And I can be.
But I will be forever jealous of their ability because they're good, dude. And
Yeah.
again, maybe it's just because they're my brother and sister, and I think they're just really fantastic. But I
Well,
really do think that they're pretty fucking awesome.
from a somewhat, I guess, outside perspective, I'm jealous of the talent that you guys possess as well. Like I have a little bit of like musical inclination, having been in band for, pretty much my entire school career. College,
Hey,
high school, middle school.
That's how I met Benny.
Exactly. so I'm jealous of their talent in that regard. But I also am appreciative of the fact that I have that musical background, so I guess I don't want to try and like toot my own horn, but hot puns didn't.
Funny.
But I can like appreciate like the music behind it and like how it like things fit together and piece together, having been part of like ensembles for 6-7 years. So it's really
Music
cool.
theory is something that we do not possess, and
I wouldn't
it's
say
a
that
little
you
scary, but we just
don't.
It's
Yeah, I wouldn't say that you don't possess it. I would say that you do possess it and you use it, but not in like the classical form of having been through schooling for it. It's just how you guys have melded together and figured it out. You still have that music theory and how you want things to work together, but I'm just speaking on the fact of like that I know you and Mac a little bit. I would say that you guys didn't go to school for that, and Tanner perhaps has a little bit more of a mind for it because he is producing. But yeah, in the classical sense, I would say you don't know, but you have that like kind of innate and natural ability in music theory to figure out how you want your stuff to sound.
it's interesting you bring that up because that's the reason I didn't ever study music. Like I very well could have gone to school. Like Northwest had an amazing fine arts program and I could have gone that route, but thinking of music as like a task or something I have to do for homework was like and even my mom, I give my mom huge props because my grandma is a very, very talented like choir vocalist. Like she's a great piano player, and she's a musician in like the classical trained sense. But my mom had asked her at one point when I was really little, like, should I put Mary Emily into singing classes? And I can't say verbatim what my mom's response was to, I think my grandma said to do it, but basically she decided not to because she wanted me to form like my love for singing by myself,
Right.
which I already had. Like that wasn't something that I needed to learn. I think my mom still says that I sang before I talked. Like I was like humming along to her, and like I sang, I guess, before I like verbally spoke a sentence.
Well, we have a niece kind of like that right now named Emmy. She tends to sing a little bit more with people than she does actual say words. So
Right.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
And I can relate to that music as homework type though, because that's how I got when I got to college. I didn't want to do band when I got to college, because by the time I got out of high school, it was becoming more of a chore.
Exactly.
Rather than something I enjoy doing. Like I did enjoy doing it, and like I did like playing music, and you get those, sometimes you wouldn't think so, but you get those bangers of songs that you can just like rip a trumpet solo on or something, because that's what I played. And it's a good feeling when you like find a piece of music and you enjoy playing it. But the chore part of it, where you have to like, where it becomes an assignment rather than something you want to make time for. That's why when I got to college, I didn't want to do it, but there were scholarship opportunities available, and mom and dad were like, "No, you're gonna do it." And I was like, "Okay."
And it breaks my heart because I have met a really close friend that I had at school. Actually, not from being in school, but I had a job, and he was quite a bit younger, but we worked at the same place at the same time, and he went to Mizzou, like full ride for classic guitar playing. And when I found out he played the guitar, I was like, oh, cool. Like, especially I was in college at the time and I didn't have anyone to write music with. Like Mac and everyone that I had experience writing music with was back in Omaha. So of course I was like, oh my gosh, like let's get together and let's write something. And he could not think of something on his own. Like he was so trained to learn other music. We would sit down to like jam and write something and he couldn't do it. Like I would ask him like, oh nice, like did you, like no, it's this song from the 70s. Like he just could not do it himself, and it broke my heart. I'm like, man, he's so talented. Give him any sheet music and like in an instant, but just creatively he couldn't do that process. And I was like, man, that sucks.
I get that.
I
Like,
wonder if you wouldn't have gone to school for it, like what would have happened. But
yeah, like I
got
can
a full ride to
read.
Mizzou, so
I can read sheet music all day long for the instruments that I played. But when I did jazz for a little while. I loved playing jazz because jazz is very loose and very freeform, and you
Yeah.
have a very basic jazz scale that you work with. And it was super fun. I enjoyed playing jazz a lot. And there was still sheet music for it, but there was points in those songs for different instruments in the ensemble just to
like freestyle.
bust it
Yeah.
out. Like here's your jazz scale, here's your blues scale. Go to town, and you get to go to town for 32 to 64 measures of music and just like have a ball with it.
Like in the movie Soul,
Yeah.
the Pixar movie, they talk about like the place that you go to when you're in the zone essentially is like they illustrate this beautiful way of thinking of like not just musicians, but like when anyone's in the zone doing anything that they're super passionate about. Yeah, I feel like jazz would be a really good way to just like escape
It's fun.
for a second, and you're still in it. But
Yeah, and I've been out of music long enough now that I'm like toying with the idea of going and finding a guitar and trying to learn to play guitar. But we'll see what
it's
happens.
never too late.
True.
It's never too late. Yeah.
True. Guys, chat, do you have any more questions for Mary, for Alex, for myself, anything? I'll give you guys a couple minutes to think about it. If not, we'll wrap it up. I'll cue us out with the last track that Mary wanted us to sample out, and we'll go from there. While they're thinking of anything they want to ask you, Mary, is there anything else you want to tell us about the upcoming album? Anything you're allowed, I guess, to tell us before things become official? Rough release date, anything like that?
I will say we are hoping to have like finalized details. I mean, I'll say too, there's a lot that goes into actually like releasing the music once it's done. There's like a 4-week waiting period of you have to like submit everything, and there's a lot of paperwork and there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but we are hoping to have a finalized date for the album to be available. Like 420 is when we're hoping to have something out on social media saying this is the date you can download, and I'm sure we'll have like a pre-save option available at that time too. We're working really hard to get it done, but we love it a lot, and so with all that passion goes a lot of being particular.
Blood, sweat, and tears. Yep.
Yes.
So, guys, in about a month's time, look on social media for like an album release date. It's Feel Good on all social media platforms:
Yes.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok now.
TikTok.
As
I'm
well.
working so hard.
She's working
I'm trying
very hard. So make sure to
behind the
go
scenes.
drop a follow on all of those so you can stay in the loop when this album drops, and then be part of the fan club for Feel Good.
Luther says, "We love you, Weezer."
I love you too, Luther. I'm so glad that some of our Texas guys joined in for
They have been.
this.
They've
It's
been
really nice to
Texas
hear from
friends,
them.
steady viewers. And speaking of you guys as viewers, we say this every week. We beat this dead horse with a big stick every week, but we do appreciate all of you guys, all the support and love that you give us doing this thing. every week. And if you guys take that same energy that you give us here and go bring that same energy to Feel Good, I am more than positive they will appreciate the fuck out of it.
And they won't let you down.
Also, I do want to say too, I don't want to pull an Ellen, but just try and spread some nice, happy, positive vibes around the universe. I think everyone could use it right now. I think it would be really cool if, on behalf of Feel Good, I don't care if you like our music or not, but just be kind to those that you meet. I think that would be like, if I really had to give a sign off, it would be just give some grace, you know?
All right. Perfect. And with that, I'm going to leave that as our sign up for the night. And we'll leave you guys with this track is called Easiest Part. And we'll leave you guys with that. We'll see you all next week.
I love this song.
We'll see you all next week. And yeah, just, what Mary said. Be nice to each other.
There's something in the water here that makes me wanna disappear around you, but still be close enough to steal your air. I wasn't scared until it was like 3 in the morning, and all of a sudden I wanted you there. I've tried, I lied, I'm still trying hard, but not quite the hardest thing I've ever done. You're the easiest part. You're the easiest part. You're the easiest part. Is waking up, sunrise is burning. This image of us on the wall, and together we've conquered this house. We could not tell them all I'm sorry. For when I cry, sometimes I just see myself